Welcome back to Every Pokémon Ever. When we visited the Pokémon Center in New York a while back, we witnessed some extraordinary things, to say the least. One thing we didn't get a chance to grab at the time was the briefly mentioned Pokémon Mini gaming console. Because they were sold out? Wait, seriously? Sold out? Who even bought these things? However, my good friends at the PCNY hooked me up, and I finally received this. The Pokémon Mini holds the title as Nintendo's smallest cartridge-based console, and rightfully so. Just look at it in my giant hands. How am I supposed to play this? If you recall, the system has 3 color flavor varieties based on the most popular Pokemon. Chikorita Green? Smoochum Pink? You lost me there. And this one, Wooper Blue.
Hold it, stop, help me!
And unsurprisingly, this thing also held another record as Nintendo's worst-selling console ever, even underselling the bright red sight-blinding devil box, the Virtual Boy. I don't see a problem here. You would think that being under the wing of Nintendo's most hyped franchise would help drive sales, but literally no one wanted these, save for the few hardcore fans that bought out the PCNY. Scalpers! That said, there were quite a few interesting merch items available. Wristbands with minifigs of the 3 mascots, fanny packs, pouches, backpacks, mouse pads, shirts with pockets for all the Pokemon Minis you carry around with you, because you're a loner. What a selection! And yet, the worst selling Nintendo console. But when have we ever been one to turn down a challenge because of the lack of interest? If we want to be a true Pokemon master, we've got to play them all. And I'm not only talking about the 5 English released games, oh no, we're gonna play all 9. Today, on Every Pokémon Ever. Whoa. What's going on?
Alright, here we go. Okay, this is gonna work. Okay.
Wow, that was weird. Glad to be big again. Anyway, the tiny game cards pop out back here, and the device features an A, B, and C button, as well as shake, infrared, and rumble technology. Much like another certain device that made us walk 1,000 miles. Ouch, me hammies! Anyway, let's fire it up and take a look at our first game, Pokémon Party Mini. The game immediately prompts us to enter the date. Wow, we're well into 2002. Time flies. This cartridge includes 6 fun minigames, the first of which is called Pikachu's Rocket Start. In this game you play as a Pikachu that will face off against several opponents in a dash race. Once Elekid gives the signal and the system vibrates, you have to press any button as quick as you can. If you're faster than your opponent, you get to move on to the next round. But if you press too early or later than your opponent, you lose the entire game and have to start over. The first round against Rattata isn't too bad. But the second round with Eevee heats things up a little bit. I have to channel all those years I spent playing Samurai Kirby. Eventually we come through, but the last round versus Pikachu is pretty difficult, if you're not paying attention at least. I hate the feeling of anticipation, like I'll accidentally pull the trigger too early. Ah! And if you lose the Pikachu round, you have to start all over again. It's annoying. But we finally come through and win the race. Next up is Slowking's Judge. The big tennis matches today, and you are the ref. Can I just say how hilarious it is to have a member of the Slowpoke family judge a tennis match? Anyway, the rules are simple. You have to decide if the ball is in or out, but don't take it for granted because the game can pick up the pace pretty quick. And physics, well, I've never seen balls change mid-air. What are you, Serena Williams or something? And then you start to get to the double ball calls. Those are fun. I don't know what kind of tennis match this is, but I would love to watch it. 23. Welp, that's probably going to be all I can do. Remember, I'm not the greatest at physical button mashing games. The only thing I'm good at mashing is potatoes. Now let's do Chansey's Dribble. It's not what you think. That's soccer dribble. Nothing weird going on here. Anyway, you move Chansey left to right and kick the ball. The more centered you are, the straighter it will move. Your task is to reach the goal as quickly as possible, but if you lose control of the ball and miss it, you'll have to wait a second or two for Chansey to get back with it. Let's give it a go. So far so good. Ah, missed it! Oh no! Okay, whew! .007 seconds. That's right, we measured down to the millisecond here. Moving right along to Bellossom's dance. God, I love that song. Anyway, to perform the dance, you need to simply press the direction the Bellossom are pointing to mimic their moves. As you proceed, the rounds become shorter, and sometimes you have to jump by shaking the Mini. Let's give it a go. So far, so good. Getting faster. Ah, lost it on a shake. Darn it. 18, I'll take it. Moving on. It's time for Hitmonchan Boxing. A puny Machop picked a fight with us, and we need to teach him a lesson. That guy's a jerk! We'll be shaking the Pokemon Mini continuously until the game vibrates. As Machop punches at us, we have to hold the game still, or we'll lose points for punching out of turn. This game has a big stop message as well, so it's pretty hard to miss. Let's see what we can do here. Come on. Hey, yeah, 69. What a nice score. Nice. Anyway, now it's time for Sneasel's Fake Out, a game for 2 players? Ugh. You know what that means. Darn it. Now that we're both here, let's talk about how to play. The offense player will choose to send Sneasel in a direction with the basketball, and the defense player has to try to choose the same direction. If the directions are the same, the ball will be blocked, but if not, offense scores a point.
You go first. No, you go first. No, you go first. No, you go first.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick a way and you try to guess it. This IR interaction is slow. You gotta press the button. I am pressing it. Come on, go! As you can see, this game is pure random luck, but it's still fun, right? Not really. Hey, speaking of multiplayer, there's also the Battlefield mode, which could support up to 6 players? Wow. And timed competition for any of the modes on the party minigame. Obviously, there's no possible way I could clone myself 4 more times. That would be ridiculous.
You said 6 players? Coming right up.
Wait, no.
I want to play. I want to play. I want to play. I want to play too.
Guys, I don't have time to go back through and play all of the same games over again. I'm sorry.
Aw, you're not fun.
Dude. Not cool.
The final thing included on this cartridge is a cool clock and stopwatch featuring everyone's favorite time-traveling green onion, Celebi. You will find Celebi flying through the screen every once in a while, and can even leave the clock up on the Mini to check the time if you're on the go. How cool! Overall, Pokemon Party Mini has fun games, and while short and limited, I like this. Let's move on to Pokemon Pinball Mini. If there is one game you've heard me throw shade at before, other than Pokemon Puzzle League, it's gotta be Pokemon Pinball for the Game Boy Color. I mean, what a nightmare that was to play. But just because I like self-torture, I'm sitting here with a new variation of Pinball for the Pokemon Mini. By the Jupiter Corporation? No, I don't have high hopes. But I swear, if this is like that Game Boy Color game, I'm gonna finally lose it. Already super flashy with the title screen, and the main mascot of the game being Diglett, who I still find adorable despite what you might think from my time as a Diglett inspector. All in good fun. Let's dive into the Pinball Madness. This game has 3 modes. There's Quest, Time Attack, and Score Attack. Each includes several miniature courses with specific goals. For Quest Stage 1, you can see that we have 30 seconds to complete it. Also, next to the Diglett are 4 mystery characters. We'll get back to that in a sec. So this is very simplified compared to the Game Boy Color monstrosity. By using Diglett's ovular head, we can send the ball in different directions and fill the pockets. Booyah! Some obstacles require a, quote, hard hit to break through. You can charge up your plunger Diglett by holding the button before striking, but if you hold it too long, he'll stop moving for a second. On stage 5, you'll see the goal changes. Instead of needing to fill all the pockets, we need 5 points within the time limit. Points, of course, being gained by putting balls in any hole. Also, if you charge up your plunger and perform a direct hit into a hole, you can get a POW, which grants you extra points. Once you get into a rhythm, you can really rock the POWs. Now we're introduced to the Ditto obstacle, which is hilarious. And the challenges just get more strenuous as you go on. Once you get down the aiming mechanics, it becomes kind of easy to make these long shots. Stage 10 mixes it up yet again with a goal of catching Pikachu. He has 8 HP, which can be replenished by hitting him with the ball. You'll notice the Pichu on the sides, which can grab your ball and toss it. Sounds familiar, right? And once he hits 0 HP, it's time to catch him. Then simply make the goal to finalize the deal. Ha! The classic Pokemon catch jingle. Got him! Now for stage 11, we can choose the Pikachu Plunger. Well, we have to on this one, which operates a little bit different from good old Diglett. With his flat head, we can lob the ball straight-ish. We have 3 Pikachus at play here too, which is fun. So much fun. And then the bumpers arrive. I like how in this game they introduce game mechanics slowly. The one here makes it hard to get the POW points. Come on, man! Stage 14 has some water, which will give you a game over. So after many attempts with Pikachu, I'm going to switch back to good old Diglett. Oh, see? This is already better. Sometimes different courses call for different Pokemon. Rhythm, rhythm, rhythm. Eventually, they start throwing in these scrollable pit courses, which everyone loves. It's like the Jupiter Corporation doesn't understand the concept of fun. Rhythm, rhythm, rhythm! Okay, stage 20. We can finally unlock another Pokemon. Yep, everyone's favorite blue blob, and I'm not talking about Quagsire, it's Wobbuffet.
Isn't this nice? Wobbuffet!
He has 20 HP, and let me tell you, with all those holes on the ceiling, this is actually pretty hard as he runs back and forth. Got him! It's what I've always wanted. While Wobbuffet is, questionable as a Pokemon you would ever use,
Wobbuffet!
he works great as a pinball plunger. With a little bit of extra strength, he can break through rocks with relative ease, while maintaining the versatility of Diglett. I might just use him for the rest of this. What a Pokemon! The next stage tries to get tricky by reversing the gravity. And then we have this one with a goal line that we're trying not to cross. Luckily, we got a couple of goalies back there. Thanks, guys! Dum, dum, dum. Hey, where did the goalies go? No water breaks allowed here! This rock thought he was safe. Silly rock. And on stage 30, we finally meet our next Pokemon to capture, Clefairy. Not only is she hiding behind a barrier of holes, yeah, but this course also introduces a gravity mechanic, which can change the direction of gravity after passing it. Darn it. Going with Diglett, we struggle through to finally capture Clefairy. Awesome. Clefairy comes with an interesting special ability. By pressing the D-pad after striking, you can change the direction of the ball mid-roll, kind of like tilting a pinball machine. Very interesting indeed, especially since while associated with the psychic ability, Clefairy is actually a normal type. Using our directional shift, we can safely land in these holes without getting wet. Awesome! This ability makes the game a little easier going forward, but only a little. This is still kinda hard. Holding the down button can be helpful to adding to pre-existing gravity. Then stage 35, we're met with this 13 pocket scramble. Ay ay ay! After completing that, we did it! Congratulations! We beat Pokemon Pinball Mini. Just kidding. You already know there's more because of that one missing character. Ah! Keep going. An inspirational message. I don't wanna! Ah. Okay, we're only halfway there, ladies and gents. This ball drop into the pools of death below is nerve-wracking. Oh, don't mind me, just breaking the ice. Yeah. Rhythm, rhythm, rhythm. How far can we go?
One minute, 37 seconds later.
118? Wow! Stage 40 finally lets us take a stab at the final unlockable Pokemon, Poliwag. He's just strolling back and forth behind a bumper, which is highly annoying. Gonna use that mean mad metronome magic. There we go. And getting down to it. Yes! Okay, that was difficult. And we still have 30 levels to go, believe it or not. That's nice of them. The first course after unlocking all the characters, and I can only use Pikachu. Why do you do this? Now I can check out Poliwag. He's definitely the circliest of the bunch, but has the strength of Wobbuffet and far more rounded control. Get it? Rounded? Haha. As I've played, I've gained the inherent life skill of picking the perfect plunger Pokemon I need for each situation. Something that I will use later, I'm sure. Not! Ah, pockets that way. Thanks for telling me. Never would have found it out without that big sign back there. This one's hard because the entire right side of the course is over water. A bunch of courses are banning Clefairy because her power is too great for this world. Oh, Pachinko? I love Pachinko! How long has it been since we talked about the Pokemon Catch arcade machine? Seems like forever ago. Gotta get lucky here. Yeah, nope. Let's try that again. Oh. There we go. What a game. Whoa, that's a lot of rocks. What are those supposed to be, volcanoes? Ah, I'm on fire! Let's do it again. Okay, there we go. This one has a big and not at all creepy Geodude on top. Yikes! Now let me tell you something about stage 57. Well, it sucks. At first it might not seem too bad, but with horrible angles, ice blocks to break, and pools of water if you hit it too hard, you'll be hard-pressed to get this in time. There we go! After that horrid thing, every other stage seems like a walk in the park. Stage 61 only has 2 pockets. Is this some kind of joke? Ah, I see. That angle is nasty. Stage 63 wants me to get 150 points? What? It does give me 3 minutes, but even then we'll have to hit a lot of POWs, and we are forced to use Pikachu to wedge the ball between the two bumpers. I need to get that rhythm going.
Two hours later.
I've tried this several times now, and I've been restarting if I don't have 100 points by the 1 minute countdown. I mean, mathematics, right? Boom! We did it! With seconds to spare, too. Thanks for crapping out after I hit my goal, Pikachu. Well done! Do not feed this Onyx or you'll be out. This one's cool. It's like the Wobbuffet are in little boats and are shooting for the moon. Stage 68 has these little gravity buttons you have to press without going into the outer pits. And then 69 sees us masterfully crafting some ball shots over a giant pool, trying to land in Chansey's inconspicuous egg hole. Yep, I just said that. And finally, all this time later, we reach the end of our pinball quest at stage 70. We have a minute and a half to get 16 pockets, with the one that started it all. Good old Diglett. This takes some luck, some skill, but in the end, we've done it! And what do we get for all our hard work? A cute animation of Diglett's playing with a ball. And we get called a whiz. Gee, that's great. I'm adding Pinball Wizard to my ever-growing resume, for sure. And of course, that's only one mode on this tiny little cartridge, but fret not. Timed mode is literally nothing compared to the 70-stage quest mode. He of course is catered at a time limit, and we get to choose any of our Pokemon we unlocked. So this is a breeze. Okay, and then score mode isn't much different, just focused on score limits. Nothing too exciting here either. I do have to say that I appreciate the thought that went into this game, especially given the hardware it was running on. This was alright for what is hopefully my last pinball adventure. After our long pinball run, we can see we got the coveted alternate title screen. Okay. Up next, we have Pokemon Zany cards. I'm loving the Meowth box art already. Pokemon Zany cards brings a couple of fun card games to the table. So let's start with the first one, Wild Match. For this game, players have to draw a card and add one card from their hand to the card train each turn. If your card makes a pair in the train or finishes a Pokemon set, you can get yourself some lucky coins straight from Meowth's forehead. There's no better way to get used to it than dive straight in against our first opponents, the dynamic duo Jesse and James. The game goes fairly easy on you, highlighting suggested play cards for you to use. Some completed card sets will also showcase a nice animated scene. Let's see what we can do here. I have to be honest, I'm a little overwhelmed with all these cards. Okay, so by laying down a Pikachu and Lugia combo, we get to see the Fly with Lugia cutscene. That's nice. Oh wait, what? Oh, nice! We also get one for having a legendary bird Lugia combo, based on the Pokemon 2000 movie. Epic. With the first round over, we are clearly in the lead, but let's not let our guard down just yet. Okay. It's time for Totodile Evolution! Alright, we came out on top. That 2RD in the corner is for second round, don't worry. I'm not in second third place. I made first. And the game continues to get more challenging as we go along. Next up we have Brock and Misty. Looking good, guys. It's been a while. All Brock cares about is what Nurse Joy thinks of him. Typical. Oh nice, we got a Ho-Oh Pikachu combo, showing us a cutscene of the first time we saw the legendary Phoenix. How amazing is that? We got Chikorita to evolve. It's the exact same as the Totodile one, and Cyndaquil I'm guessing too. And this one is called GS Starters, with a fun little jingle. Misty is sore about losing, and Brock is like, cool! Next up we have Bruno and Lorelei, the unlikely friends from our Kanto Elite 4 days. Yeah, this is a bit more difficult somehow. They're not messing around anymore. Tyrogue? What cutscene could there possibly be about Tyrogue? That's a weird one. Tyrogue looks depressed and Pikachu is cheering him on. Huh. We're pretty far ahead. I feel good about this. Uh-oh, this isn't good. Oh, come on. Come on! Yeah! By 1 coin! Every coin counts. Round 4, we have Brandon's anime counterpart, Gary, and... Ricky? Wasn't this guy's name Richie? Yeah, pretty sure it was. Oh well. What girlfriends? Brandon, you dog. Dang, I'm getting whooped. What is this? Pikachu Forest? That's so cool. All that and we still lost. Let's go again. Come on, come on! Yep. Wow, the only reason we won this time is because they played horribly. Well, son, that's the luck of the draw, I guess. Now, who will our final challengers be? Giovanni and Mewtwo with his Team Rocket armor. Wow, the first time a Pokemon has ever played cards. Except for you, Meowth. This is the worst battle in the world, and I don't know how, but I've lost so many times. Finally, I hit a lucky streak. There we go! What a rush. For winning, we get to release Mewtwo from Team Rocket's grasp. And a cool Wild Match League trophy. I'll throw it with the others. Thanks! You would think this game is over, but nope, there's still the next mode, Special Sevens. We're not dealing with odd card trains anymore. Now we're basically playing a game of Uno. You're trying to rid your hand of cards by playing matching suits, or Pokemon, with some special exceptions. A Pikachu card changes the suit with a Thunderbolt attack. Meowth has a Draw 2 card and has a funny cutscene where he ambushes you in the woods. The funny thing about this is that it can be avoided if you too have a Meowth card, meaning the person after you would have to draw 4 cards. Jigglypuff sings you to sleep, just like in the anime, and even gets mad and draws on your face. Ditto changes suit without a Thunderbolt attack. And Snorlax falls asleep in your way, thus reversing the turn order because who can climb over that belly? Wish I still had my Poke Flute. Oh, anyway, Wobbuffet, our Pinball Plunger Star, can reverse anything that happens to you. And finally, Gengar can perform Dream Eater with a creepy cutscene, causing the next player to draw 3 cards. With all those special cards, you can see how some strategy comes into play. Do you play this card now? Do you wait? Which player should you target? Each round is different, and while there is mostly luck involved, I found this mode actually more fun than the first, as I was more in control. For the second round, I find myself squaring off against Casey, the Electabuzz baseball fanatic from the anime, and Duplica, the Ditto Magician lady. What an odd pair! Huh. And then I have a reunion with Sabrina and Koga, who I had a puzzling encounter with in that unmentionable sequel title I had to play. Puzzle games, no! But everybody loves a good card game. I find the back and forth banter pretty funny. Like, these two don't like each other at all. And then finally, back to Brandon. Gary. And Ricky. No sweat. Now time to put an organized crime boss to sleep. They're just gonna let me walk to the finish line here. Wow. I easily swept the rounds and claimed my second prize. A Special Sevens League, is that a trophy? That design's a little weird. The next mode is Four Kings, which is essentially solitaire. Keep adding higher cards in each suit to complete the stacks. And Magikarp is here? There we go. Do we get a Four Kings League trophy? No. We just get a picture of Magikarp flopping around. Well, I'm done with that. The final mode is Card Duel, which is multiplayer, unfortunately. I don't think my clone will ever return. Basically, you each are dealt a hand and have a short time to try and select a higher card than your opponent. This one we could probably do without, but overall I really enjoyed Zany cards. What a wonderful not pinball related spin-off. But now, the depression sinks in as we head into Pokemon Puzzle Collection Volume 1. Long name aside, this can't be good, because it has the word puzzle in it, and you know how I feel about those. Don't worry, I'll give it an honest chance. After all, it looks promising. Jupiter Corporation aside, this might be fine. We have 3 puzzle modes available now, the first being Motion Puzzle. This is yet another tile slide puzzle. Yeah, I know. But this time we get to choose which 2 places to swap, and the pictures are alive! So it's more of a tile switch puzzle, and it even includes some new Johto Pokemon that haven't gotten their time in the spotlight, like Octillery. No one remembers Octillery! No one! The hard part about these as you go on is the Pokemon movements sometimes throw off your perception of where a piece might go. These Magnemites all look the same! And this frickin' unknown G! Just stop moving, dude! Seriously, they get harder and harder until the very end with Electrode. But eventually we come through on this. And I think it's a fun idea. And now, for Shadow Puzzle. As mysterious as it sounds, its concept is simple. You have to use these blocks over here to fill in the shadow completely. No overlapping. You can rotate the pieces too, which make the puzzles more complicated. As with the last mode, we start out nice and easy before ramping up the difficulty. Yep, still going. After completing our 30th total puzzle in the game, Kabuto, we actually unlock the 4th game mode called Power On. That sounds fascinating, but we still have work to do. Let's pump out the rest of these shadows. Oh, this Ho-Oh puzzle is hard. Yep. There we go! Now before we check out the Power On mode, let's do Rescue Mission. In this game we have to clear a path for a Pokemon by moving blocks around them, eventually moving them to a hole in which they can escape their Lego prison. While it sounds pretty easy, I definitely am finding trouble with some of these block patterns. You can't rotate blocks, so sometimes you have to completely backtrack on an idea to try a different method. Or worse yet, start that Pokemon's puzzle over. Again, I'm loving the representation here. Chinchou? Phanpy? Porygon too? Hell yeah. And level 5 will be maddening. I've spent a long time on this one, seeing nothing but that little Bellossom staring into my soul for weeks. Nah, just kidding, but still. If you can best the other 19 levels, you can come face to face with the final Pokemon to rescue, the mythical Mew, making this tedious game worth it. And finally, that brings us to Power On. I don't really like this one. Who's that Pokemon? You might know, but you're not going to know officially until you get this Pikachu to move these wires around and light up the board. Unlike the motion puzzle, this is a true tile puzzle. I don't want this in my life. Not now, not ever. But here we are, friends. One Quillfish and a Piloswine later, we arrive at the final puzzle in the game, who, of course, is Smeargle. You know, they could have put Celebi here instead. Wouldn't that make sense? Of course it would. On the title screen, you can even check out the mini-dex as well, which showcases all of the different Pokemon you unlocked. But even that can't save this game from being a tedious undertaking. Let me tell you, if I developed a game, I would do things a little different. Pokemon Puzzle Collection Volume 2. The first game was so bad that its inevitable sequel was only released in Japan, and I can't read it! So let's bust out the translation goggles.
There we go.
This game returns with 20 more motion puzzles. I appreciate that most of these Pokemon are different from Puzzle Collection Volume 1. Think of this as the silver to Volume 1's gold, if you will. Some of these are good. Others, well, Pupitar? Why? It does end with some cool animations like Crobat. And the final puzzle in this mode, Scizor. I didn't need more of these. Hopefully there isn't a Puzzle Collection Volume 3 in the works. Luckily the other two modes are brand new to give us a little variety. Yay. The first is Pick Up Puzzle. Using this cute little tiny Pikachu, we have to follow a trail of Pokeballs and pick them all up. The catch? We can't go backwards, so we have to do it all in one continuous path. To be clear, you can cross the lines, you just can't go backwards, but they're still pretty challenging. Some of these are hard, like this Pidgeotto puzzle. I'm stuck in a tree! And after the Magmar puzzle, we finally discover what the secret fourth mode is in this game. It's... Shadow puzzle. Seriously? What a letdown! The worst mode from the first game makes a triumphant return. After I'm done forcing this sad Pikachu to pick up all of his balls, I'm gonna call the developers personally and make them explain why they chose Shadow Puzzle as the secret fourth game. Next we have Stretch Puzzle. Oh, that felt good. We are a Pichu riding a Shuckle and need to stretch out the tiles in this grid over here so that it's completely filled. Every tile has a different amount of stretchiness, notated by the little numbers on them. Aren't allowed to overlap. I get the idea, but just look at these as they stretch out. This doesn't look right. Then again, what did I expect something based on a Shuckle to look like? Joke's on me, I guess. I actually find this mode fun. The pickup one was but this, I can get on board with this. These stretch puzzles get pretty hard around level 3. A strategy I have is to check the corners for any squares that you can only reach with one of the Shuckle blocks. You have to assume that that Shuckle is for that square, at least giving you some clue about where to start these big boys. Oh mama! This puzzle's huge! These go on forever. Rounding up the end, we have the demigod chicken of the sea, Lugia, and surely something more awesome than that for the finale. What? Flaffy? I'm speechless. And finally, we have to face the looming task of finishing our shadow puzzles. Just as with the first, some of these shapes are really straining my imagination to see. Like, is that a Nidorina? Is it really? But don't worry, we painstakingly made it all the way to the majestic Articuno. What would be an amazing final puzzle? But there's one more, and it's Weepin' Bell. I am just gonna tell you guys, I will not be playing any more puzzle games. What? What? No! This game has special level 6 courses for all of the minigames. I'm gonna cry. What a nice ending. At least now we can definitively say that we have completed our mini-decks for this obscure game that no one cares about. Even Celebi.net doesn't have all of the puzzle Pokemon updated. Am I the first one to do this? Probably. What a dreadful game. But now, for a change of pace. Pokemon Race Mini. I didn't know what I was expecting here, but I can't believe I'm saying this. This is a Pokemon platformer game. In Grand Prix, we play as Pikachu, and we have to dash our way through a course, jumping over obstacles and making our way through 3 laps of insane speed. Nah, it's pretty low-key. But look at this! Pikachu can wall jump! I don't know why, but this makes me insanely happy to see. Nothing like smoking a chikorita on the racetrack, but there are many more courses to complete for the rookie course. Next we find Wooper at Route 12, and are introduced to water. If you ever wondered if Pikachu floated, well, there you go. There's also these fallen bridges, like Eastern Kanto has turned into some decrepit ruin. And Pichu at Viridian Forest. Now, the jumping mechanic does take a bit of getting used to. It's kind of hard to control, but... yeah, we'll go under. Oh, this isn't good. We're way behind now. What is Pichu? What? Okay, so by pressing the B button, we can actually dash forward with a burst of speed. I didn't know that. As for this course, I'm gonna have to make these jumps to have a chance, because going under that tree, then wall jumping wastes so much time. Yeah, I would rather stop and climb here than dive under that tree again. There we go. Booyah! And last up from the caves of Mount Moon, we have a bout with Sandshrew. Ah, okay, so the rough ground slows you way down. Let's try to avoid that. We did it! We won the Rookie Cup! But of course, there are also 3 more Grand Prix divisions. The Super Cup re-challenges Wooper in a round 2 course that is altered from the first. Then we find Diglett, our little pinball star. He has a secret tunnel here, because it's Diglett's cave, you know? What did I think was going to happen? We need to maximize our speed through these jumps and use our dashes very carefully. That background music sounds very familiar. Very familiar. You can do it! And a romp through the streets of Goldenrod City against a lonely Ditto. I like how he changed to a Pikachu as the race started. Whoa, that's a tall building. How the heck am I gonna jump up that? Okay, if we dash from up here, we can make it. So we have to use our dash there? Interesting. After timing all of those jumps correctly, the Super Cup trophy is mine. And that leaves the Hyper Cup. Come on, Pikachu. Run, Pikachu, run! This power plant is freaking cool. Where it seemed creepy in our original adventure, this is nice and big with all the hazard tape everywhere. I like how each Pokemon we face has its own gimmick, like Magnemite just sticking to the wall. Ah, the ruins of Alph. I remember catching all 26 varieties of those Alpha Boys so I could print out a long piece of paper. That was worth it. But here we're racing a local Natu, and he's so cool, flying around. We're gonna have our work cut out for us as a not flying yellow rat. After completing these 3 cups, we unlock the Master Cup, which will test our skills like nothing before. I'm having a good time though. This is what I always wanted, and I didn't even know it until now. Ah, this is pretty intense. Okay, so I retract my previous statement. Apparently you can climb these tall obstacles by pressing up while clinging to the wall. Things I wish I would have known sooner, you know? We definitely have a run for our money here with this all-out Ditto rampage through the skyscrapers of Goldenrod. I love this place. And with that, we are Master Cup champions! Yeah! This game also has a challenge mode where you guide Pikachu through simple courses to practice all of his special moves. This would have been good to do before the Grand Prix exhibition, but hey, who's keeping track anyway? Time attack mode is just what it sounds like. You try to set your best time on each course, and courses become available after playing them in the Grand Prix. There's also Ditto Battle, where you can race against a ghost of yourself. Or a ghost of a friend if you link up via IR. But all that aside, this was a fun one. The best so far, if I do say so myself. Next is Pokemon Tetris. Something worth mentioning before we continue, the Pokemon Mini actually saved games to the console itself. So right here you see that we only have 6 save slots available, so for the next game we're gonna have to delete one. So long, Pokemon Party Mini! It's been nice knowing ya. That's right, what do you get when you combine 2 of the biggest gaming ideas of all time? You get this little title on the Pokemon Mini. I feel like this idea could have been so much more, but they decided to do this. But no bother. The puzzles included are what you would expect out of a typical Tetris match, but it has a catch. Literally, you can catch Pokemon. The Pokemon available to catch kind of roll through randomly, and by clearing 4 rows, you will throw a Pokeball and capture whichever Pokemon is up. You can see that this is either Voltorb or Electrode. Ah, Voltorb. What a first Pokemon to catch, the one that looks like a Pokeball. That's exciting. Anyway, as you may have figured out, different Pokemon are available at different difficulty levels. As you raise the difficulty, you'll start encountering Pentiminos. What's a Pentimino? Well, it's a Tetris brick made out of 5 brick blocks as opposed to Tetraminos which have 4 brick blocks. Got it? And rare and legendary Pokemon aren't available until unlocking Hyper Mode after catching a total of 100 Pokemon. And Master Mode after acquiring 200. Aye. What's more, the rarest Mon like Ho and Lugia have extremely low spawn rates to begin with, and require you to perform what Tetris nerds call a gym, or completing 5 rows at once. Something which is obviously only available in modes with Pentiminos. Unless you're a wizard! Here's a little pro tip. If you shake the device, you can actually flip the Tetris pieces. This comes in handy when you're dealt a piece that fits nowhere. Anyway, this is going to take 5,000 years to complete. I have been doing nothing but staring at these blocks for weeks! Every morning when I wake up to drink my Poké Coffee, I see them swirling around my head, taunting me to finish this challenge. If you do this, don't do this, but also, you better love Tetris. Here's what the completed Pokédex looks like, and holy fudge, I love the notion of putting every Pokémon in a game, but you really didn't have to put every Pokémon in the game. Oh, I mean, 249 that is. Yeah, Mew and Celebi are notably absent, but their code is still in the game because, believe it or not, there was a special offline Pokémon Mini Tetris DLC event you had to attend in person to be able to get them. Yeah, you heard me! I'm not joking! An event for Pokémon Tetris! I doubt anybody went to this. It was probably one sad, lonely man sitting in a room waiting for Tetris friends to come and G'm out, but no one showed up, so he ate all of the hors d'oeuvres alone and cried himself to sleep. Anyway, the events took place at Pokémon Center stores across Japan. They had a section installed dedicated to an infrared signal, so you just brought your Mini, loaded up Tetris, and would be able to find Mew or Celebi by playing a few rounds in the store. That sounds insane to me, as you would have to already have all 249 to easily find the two mythicals. Or, you know, just spend 15 hours at the Pokémon Center playing Tetris. Sir, we're closing now. Not yet! But overall, I guess Pokémon wanted to hit this Tetris partnership in stride, and they created something monotonous, but also satisfying as you race to clear your rows when you see a new Pokémon appear in the sidebar. I just wish it weren't such an undertaking, but this Pokédex does look satisfying. Now, I forget what episode we were filming. Oh yeah, the Pokémon Mini thing. Ha! Yeesh. Okay, so the Tetris game also includes more features, wouldn't you know it? There's a 20-line clear mode where you see how fast you can clear 20 lines of blocks. I'm horrible at this game anyway, so I sure don't need the added stress of a time limit. For all you Tetris freaks out there, there's also Pyramid mode, which sees you clearing a number of lines in numerical order. So first perform a 1-line clear, then a 2-line, and so on. The only good thing about Pyramid mode is the music. Dang. There's also Versus mode, of course, but yeah, no thanks. I wouldn't wish this game on anybody. I've done enough. Let's move on. Pichu Bros Mini. Based on the animated short Pikachu and Pichu, which was the lead in the Pokémon 3 the movie, this game is a spiritual successor to Pokémon Party Mini. But don't let that fool you, it's a completely unique experience, and that couldn't be more true than the first game we have to play, Skateboard Pichu. Why does Pichu on a skateboard just look so right? Like he's living his best life. This game sees you skating along an alley, and your goal is to get as far as possible. To control this thing, you have to shake the device when Pichu approaches a ramp. This will cause him to do a little kickflip.
Yo, do a kickflip!
Or maybe even a backflip if you're lucky with the timing. This is very reminiscent of that Pikachu's Beach surfing minigame in Pokemon Yellow. Only this time I don't have to beat Pokemon Stadium. I like it. Oh no! Look at how sad his fall is. Like slow motion. Poor little fella. Wow, that's an alright score, I think. Next up we have Magby Hot Air Balloon. This time-based game wants you to press A in exactly 10 seconds from when it starts. This is only difficult because there's a whining sound coming from the balloon that does not coincide with the second counter. I like to click loudly with my mouth to count down the seconds, while ignoring the music because if you're too early or too late, you'll end up in hot water. Let's try that again. There we have it. Not great, but at least we landed on the island. For the second round, the countdown shuts down after 7, leaving more room for error. Whoa, we did better that time. Interesting. Now the final one, which only shows you a 9 before disappearing for good. I have no, Wow! There we have it. I feel accomplished now. The next one is a super simple game called Hoppip Jump. Hold down the C button and let go as Hoppip rises to make him jump. Depending on when you let go of the button, Hoppip will jump different heights. That seemed a little late. Well, let's try it again a little earlier. Okay, that was actually lower. Interesting there. Looks like our first jump was the best. Okay, let's move on. Teddiursa's Shaking Fruits. This little cub is hungry for some sweet vitamin C. This seems to be the spiritual successor to Hitmonchan's Boxing, in that we're supposed to shake the device, but only when the fruits are presented to us in this little nest over here. If you shake it beyond that, Teddiursa will miss and pause, causing you to get a worse time. Well, that's fun. Smoochum's Angel Kiss. I think I want to throw up now. Why Smoochum was chosen to be a promoted Pokemon for this thing is probably one of the many reasons why the system failed. But let's look past that as we enjoy this minigame. Yeah. The plot of this game is that Digletts are popping up and Smoochum has to kiss them. Can I just say, someone working on this game was very lonely when they came up with this idea. What the? Oh man. Okay, well, now of course, Digletts popping up like this is still ingrained in my mind. I would recommend using a hammer, not kissing them. Jeez. And that brings us to the last game, Cubone Bone Club. No naughty jokes here. This multiplayer game has you trying to shake your device as the cursor lines up in the center. If you perform a shake at the correct time, Cubone will throw a bone without fail. The Cubone receiving the bone, again, no naughty jokes allowed, must then shake the device within their threshold to catch said bone without fumbling. Yes, I said the game was multiplayer, but you heard my clone. He's upset with me for not wanting to play a 6-player Pokemon minigame. But luckily on this game, they thought you might not have any friends and included a special training mode where you can play Cubone Bone Club against a computer opponent. We're doing pretty well. Okay, that's fun. Then, of course, near the end, we have a challenge mode, which is much like the Pokemon Party Mini. You can play any of the included games in multiplayer. Up to 10 players this time. They upped the ante. Wow. Who in the world has 9 friends that have a Pokemon Mini? No one. They didn't need to do it, but they did it anyway, and I salute you. The clock mode on this game is amazing as well, this time showcasing a clock tower that looks suspiciously like Tamamushi University. A Wooper or Hoot Hoot might bound across the screen every once in a while. This is really charming. I like the Pichu Bros game overall. It's a good experience with some great minigames, Smoochum's kissing escapade aside. But I really wanted to save the best for last. Togepi's Great Adventure. This game has gained notoriety as the best title for the Pokemon Mini system, and it's easy to see why. With a fun concept and A cutscene at the start of the adventure? This one goes above and beyond. A poor little Togepi egg is stolen by a mother Fearow and placed in her nest atop the mysterious Tower of Origin. When he wakes up, baby Togepi wonders where he is and accidentally trips down the stairs, cueing an epic rolling descent down 20 floors to the bottom, each containing multiple mini-courses within. You control Togepi with the D-pad and roll him around trying to reach the next staircase. Of course, his rolling movements are a little slippery, adding some challenge to this quest. Along the way, aside from the holes that fall down to the black abyss below, you'll be met with several obstacles. From gravel, which slows you down, to varying types of ice that slip you along, to even bumpers and zoom pads. This game has it all. At one point, you even find these craters you have to hop out of by shaking the system, causing you to mess up more than usual. There are also bouncy walls, and even a Pikachu who turns off and on the lights, making it impossible to see the course. Seriously, dude, turn that back on! What you doing? These are number switches, which we have to hit a certain number of times to unlock the staircase. These rocks we have to break through. Come on, Togepi, use your head. You got this. Moving platforms? Disappearing holes? Dang. Now we find some Pokemon that we have to roll into switches. Oh boy, how fun is this? Okay, so Poliwag rolls back after removing him. What a naughty frogling! Get back! Ugh. Voltorb is gonna roll towards us after we remove him, so we need to be careful. Whoa! Look at that Charizard! He's scary. What are we doing? He's knocking me all over the place. Jeez, this is tricky. Wow, that was... wow. After clearing all 20 floors of madness, we finally reached the bottom. What happens next? You might be able to write the story yourself. A Dawn fan rolls by, accidentally hitting us into the air. Clear up to the top of another tower. What? What is this story? That is the oddest... Anyway, now we find ourselves atop the Tower of Adventure, which is 4 times as high as the Tower of Origin. With sigh. Cue the montage music! I do believe we're on a pool table. Nice touch. Okay, that was a shortened version of something that took me a great while. Now surely that must be everything that we have to... What?! If the Dawn Fan thing wasn't weird enough, this time a Hypno puts us to sleep and carries us off into the woods. Not only into the woods, he takes us all the way to the top of yet another tower. The final one, I hope, called the Tower of Ordeal. This tower, which you can see extends far above the clouds, contains 99 levels. My body is ready. Let's do this. Cue the montage music! Again! Sorry to interrupt the montage, I just thought it was super cool that this course actually spells out Togepi's name. How fun is that? Yeah, fun. Back to it. Welcome to the Lizardon Lair. Okay, we've done it. So let's be real here, Togepi's Great Adventure certainly is great, and also a ton of fun. And that concludes our epic adventure to complete every single game the system had to offer. I'm sure that's all of them, and I don't foresee any more coming out in the future. With the horrible sales and rumors of awfulness, I didn't know what to expect when I started playing this tiny machine, but it's full of great moments. Alright music, some pretty epic sound effects, and a few games I even wouldn't mind remembering, as I continue my journey through the wonderful world of Pokemon. I'll see you next time, Pokemon fans.
Thanks for joining me, and as always, stay awesome!
Ah, not again!
Every Pokémon Ever is 100% non-profit, by the fans for the fans, but there is a way that you can help out. We're supporting St. Jude Children's Hospital. Donate today and help end childhood cancer.